Hello, this is Randy Rolfe from the Institute for Creative Solutions, sharing foundational concepts about vibrant health through natural living. And what I want to share today on my 360th video from the Institute is to tell you about what you don't put in your mouth or breathe in or drink is just as important as what you do. And a recent study out of Spain looked at over 1,000 pregnant women and tested their blood for various contaminants, and then tested their kids when they were between 6 and 11 years old to see what kinds of health problems they had, if any. And there was a very clear relationship between what kinds of chemical contaminants were in the mom's blood during pregnancy and later metabolic problems for the children, including metabolic syndrome, which usually is a combination of poor blood sugar balancing and obesity and heart disease triggers and factors. And what all those things that we know aren't good, the PFAS, which are the persistent chemicals that are used in the wrappers for fast food, for instance, to keep the grease from getting on the cardboard, and the endocrine disruptors, the pesticides, the BPAs that are in the plastic bottles, and so on. There were I think there were 9 categories of contaminants, and the more there was in a mother's blood during pregnancy, the more likely it was that her child would have a problem. Now, that doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, that you were really eating a whole lot of processed foods when you were pregnant and now your child's 3 or whatever. The body's always trying to clear and detoxify. So anytime you start a better diet and avoid those additives and contaminants, the healthier your child's going to be. So don't believe that anything is forever. Your body's always trying to clear itself. So good nutrition and avoiding all those processed foods and added chemicals and contaminants and heavy metals, particularly lead, arsenic, cobalt, and all those things that can sneak in the fertilizers for non-organic foods, and in other contaminants in some of the spices and the other chemicals they add into a processed foods. So going with simple foods that your great grandmother would recognize, giving that to your children, breastfeeding as long as you can, and keeping your diet good while you're breastfeeding, and then making sure you model a good diet for your child. And just you don't need to measure how much of this stuff you're getting. Just try to avoid it as much as possible and start with single ingredient foods, like I talk about in my new book. Get a hold of the book. You'll learn all about what the food processors are doing and how you can choose foods that will minimize your exposure. Don't freak out and get overstressed. It's everywhere in an environment, but we don't have to deliberately put it into our mouths if we're pregnant or not pregnant, or onto our children's plates. So that's my 360th video. I hope you're watching. I hope you'll subscribe. I hope you'll get my book. And if you want coaching, I have a wonderful coaching program now too, to help you transform your diet and transform your life. So email me at randyrolfe@randyrolfe.com, subscribe, join my Facebook group, Single Ingredient Diet, and I hope I will see you around. Thanks.